But yes, we are doing yet another story time, way much more cringy than the last one which I did about an ex-convict. So if you haven't watched that one, I'm gonna link it down below in the description and you can go check it out. And do I regret contents of this video? No, I do not. I'm not judging myself, I'm not beating myself up about things that I've done like ages ago. And by the way, this story happened at the peak of COVID, which was probably 2020, because I came to India in 2020. I regret doing this, the contents of this story time. No, I do not. But of course, I have atoned for things that I've done which needed atoning. And yes, I do acknowledge my transgressions, if you may. To be honest, this is what I love about YouTube. I'm not gonna beat myself up about stuff that I've done, and I think YouTube is affording us an opportunity to sort of take things that we have written in our diary. By the way, I do hope you guys journal, because it's very good. Because honestly, the world can get so overwhelming that you cannot process things clearly, and it's much way better when you just write stuff down and then you can literally just go back to them and try and process them at your own. I just digress. But anyway, this is one thing about me. If I talk about something, I'm just gonna digress, but eventually I'm gonna get back to the point. And as I was this is what I love about YouTube, because it's affording us a chance to take stuff that we have written in our diary and sort of talk about them in a video. And in a way, it helps people who's gonna stumble on onto this video in knowing that, okay, they have probably just done stuff that you did, or way worse, and you just putting it out there to the world. It makes people want to atone for stuff that they did, and sort of it raises an awareness, or maybe it can even make things worse. Who knows? It can either go the right way or the wrong way. So I'm just putting it out there, and whoever consumes this should know that I'm not in any way encouraging pedophilia. First of all, so this one random evening, I'm just on my Facebook and I'm just like scrolling, as we usually do. It was that time where obviously things were a bit uptight. I realized that, okay, I have a message request. It was on Facebook. Okay, I have a message request, and then I realized it's a banner account. I usually do not check such or message requests. No, I don't check message requests, but from banner accounts, probably not, because why are you not bold enough to like text with your real? So I'm like, okay, cool. I avoid it. In fact, I don't avoid it. I just get into it and then I try and answer the text. Okay, that's cool. I'm like, so when I see all these chats, I'm realizing that, oh no, it's somebody who knows me, because everything they've written in those texts is of somebody who has done a research about me, or because they knew my first name, they knew a lot of stuff about me, and they had sent like a couple of other texts alongside that one which wrote my name. I'm like, okay, who is this? Now I get intrigued, because usually if it's just like a banner account, you don't even bother reading the text. But this time around, I'm like, okay, this seems like a person that knows me. Try to respond. I'm like, hey, what's up? But obviously still feeling a bit uncomfortable, because why are you texting with a banner account? At that age, honestly, that's very embarrassing. Like, oh, what are you doing? So I respond, and then we sort of have like a conversation. And I remember somewhere along the lines, they told me, oh, okay, for safety reasons, this is who I am. And then they send a picture. Like, I'm not comfortable with sending text using my real account, because as you can see, my age and everything. But obviously, I'm just paraphrasing. The translation of that text was, okay, I'm like old, I have a family, and my life is still very much private, and I'd rather not have it out there in people's business, because when you approach someone, you don't know how they are gonna be. Okay, cool. I get along with it. We talk, and then eventually it got to a point when I think it was very late. We were chatting. He's like, hey, he tells me his plan is like, is it okay if we meet tomorrow? I'm like, obviously I'm trying to come up with a line like, no, I don't think it's possible. And then he quickly sends another text. It's like, I know, like, dude, don't even try to come up with an excuse, because I know people are not going to work, people are not doing anything right now. So the only people who are allowed to move about are literally people who are nurses, doctors, and such calibers, and you are neither. Okay, now he got me. And I didn't know what to say, to be honest. I was like, okay, you know what, I will confirm in the morning. And then we ended up, okay, fast forward, we ended up exchanging numbers. After exchanging numbers, I think he called, yeah, he probably called then, and I'm like, okay, cool. We were chatting. It was rather a long call, because at times after exchanging numbers with somebody, you'd think it's just to confirm that, okay, the number is working, but no, this one was more of a casual. It was very free, and which was kind of awkward checking the time that it was, because it was like close to like midnight, and then the person who is supposedly married is still up on a phone call even. So that kind of rubbed me off the wrong way. I'm like, okay, it's giving slut, it's giving somebody who doesn't respect his family, it's giving, what are you doing? Because obviously the age you could tell, man, you're supposed to be in bed with your wife. So I remember I ended up asking like, hey, aren't you supposed to be in bed by now? Taking the time, and it's like, it's time for us youngsters to still be online, and not for people your age. Is like, no, I'm still watching TV. So indirectly I was like, oh, okay, if he says he's still watching TV, then probably the wife is like in the bed or something. Okay, cool. I didn't know anything, obviously, and then I ended up having to cut the call. I'm like, hey, you know what, I'm very tired, honestly, we'll just talk tomorrow. But obviously it was after midnight. It was rather a long call, which brings me to say that one thing I've realized about people who are like old is that they can talk long on calls. Like, those people love calls like nobody's business. It's like they don't have a life, and they forget that if you are in that kind of a relationship, you can attest to this, that if you have dated somebody who's like much older than you are, then you know those people love calls. They love calls, and it's like they don't have life, and they forget that contrary to how their lives are, your life is like very much active, and you cannot be that long on your call unless you're doing something that you like, and you do not like them that much to be on a call with them, because usually such arrangements are like transactional. You know what, I eventually ended up sleeping, and then in the morning I get woken up by a call. It's him, very much pissed. Okay, what does he want? God. I respond, hey, what's up? It's like, no, are you up already? I'm like, literally just woke me up, right? Like, no, I wanted to confirm that we're meeting tomorrow. Obviously, yeah, we had made arrangements. I think I mentioned that part. Yeah, obviously where I said I'll confirm in the morning, like, I just wanted to confirm that we're meeting today. I'm like, couldn't you have called later? Like, because right now it's still very much early. Like, I'm not running away. You have my number, you have my damn Facebook account. Like, what's happening? What's the rush? It's like, no, I just wanted to confirm. By the way, I'm up already, so usually I think I would assume everyone is like still up at this time, because I usually get up early. So apparently he has to get up early and then go watch his livestock and whatever, which is really cool. He's like this. Guys, I don't think I want to mention, like, I don't want to get all graphical here and be more detailed and descriptive, because it's still a very much sensitive issue, and I don't want it known. And I think I've said this before, that one thing about our town, everyone knows everybody, and if you're not careful, everybody will know everything. But he is a guy who has money. He owns like a huge livestock, and he owns several eating places around town. And not just that, but he has done well for himself, to be honest, as can be expected for somebody his age, because like, to you old, you are supposed to expect that from you, for you to have achieved that much. Telling me that, no, I've come to watch my livestock and I show that everything is still running properly. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, but it's still very early for you to call me, considering how late we slept yesterday. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. And so, is it a thing? I'm meeting today. I'm like, yeah, sure, Tusha, we're meeting. So prior to the time that we were supposed to be meeting, he kept on calling like, hey, what are you doing? I'm not usually the person that minds calls, but do not abuse them. Do not abuse your luck. I don't mind them, but also it depends on who you are. If I'm like very captivated about you, then damn, hit that button, call me and I will respond. eventually we ended up agreeing that, okay, since nobody is like literally moving, there were like no taxis, or there were like close to, less to none, to be honest. So he's like, no, don't worry. So he figured I stayed close to this other garage, and then I was like, yeah, I stay there. And then eventually, in fact, the arrangement was that I'm gonna have to go to the garage, and then he's gonna pick me up from there, because he says, no, I can use my power to like move about. I don't know, you also had a license then for you to like be moving around. I'm like, okay, cool. So he fetched me from the garage. Cool. It was very awkward, because I remember like I didn't know which car to look for. There weren't many anyway, but I didn't know which one he was in. So I'm like putting on a headset and then my phone, and then he calls me, and then he tells me, oh, okay, this is the car I'm in, can you come? I saw it, I'm like, okay, cool. I will not describe the car because everybody knows it, and whatever. I go to the car, and then he, obviously before then when he called, he was asking me if I could leave at that very moment that he called. I'm like, dude, I literally just woke up. I haven't had breakfast. I haven't even taken a shower. He's like, no, don't worry about breakfast. I'm like, what? No, you are insane. He was giving pivot, and that time I was like, no, this is giving red flags. But obviously I was ignoring them, and I did. But I made it a point that no, I will leave at the time that I said. And then, okay, we took a drive, and then I kind of told him that I want something to drink, and not just drink one like alcoholic one. And then I knew bars were not, and then for some weird reason, people could still get alcohol and smuggle it somehow, and that's what he did. He smuggled some wine, and I think I was having some Hunter's Dry. I think it was. The arrangement was that when he picks me from the garage, we're gonna take a drive, and then we're gonna chill at his home, because we cannot be moving about like that. It's not allowed. It's COVID. Nobody's supposed to be moving unless necessary. So if he was found to be moving, his license was gonna be taken away. I don't even know how he got a license in the first place, given he doesn't like have a job that he's practically retired. And he doesn't need a license, but obviously, when I got to his place, and then it's like a good house, sit in, and then we are literally just watching TV. I remember we're like having a light conversation, and then I remember the maid fussing around and stuff like that, and I remember they brought me food. Oh my god, I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so like embarrassed. That moment felt like I'm a slut. It felt like a gay for pay. And Luna, let's say hi. Honestly, when I went to his place, in my head I wasn't even thinking of the wine. I was not. I did not ask anything of that kind. But also I was under the assumption that she won't be there. Which is true, she was not there, but in my head I'm like, how stupid am I to do something like that? But also nobody would have known anything, because to be honest, he had not initiated anything romantic or anything it was just casual at that time. But also when I was in the house, it was the way the maids were looking at me. They were giving, like, more like Iseliemu, like, oh, another victim. I felt, that moment felt, it was giving slut. It was giving gay for pay. I felt so disgusted with myself. But did I really? So even at that very moment, yes, deep down it was like, because this is made to you guys, I cannot lie, yes, it was a shaming. It was giving slut, it was giving gay for pay. It was giving all that. And we were chilling, they brought me food, I was feeling so uncomfortable. And to be honest, he did not mind at all. Because because at times, if you're like gay, usually at times when you're like around people, like maybe you're like dating somebody who does not seem gay, because people are under the impression that everybody who is gay is like all feminine and acting like a certain way, they're all flamboyant. And so at times when you're like dating somebody who is like more toned down and more like manly and more like hetero looking, they don't gays tend to act a certain way just so they don't bring unnecessary attention to the person they are with, and to be honest, it's really unnecessary. So even I, at that very moment, I was like, is this the time where I'm supposed to like pull up that act? And I can't. Oh shit, I cannot do that. I cannot act straight for shit. I don't want to. Like, why would I? He seemed not to mind. He was busy like with his food, and then he went to his phone, and then I was teaching him how to use his phone. This is how you use an iPhone. So that was basically our chat, and obviously I think we ended up watching Scandal, some soap or whatever. But yeah, we had some really nice time. And then as I was chilling there, Sana. As I was chilling, a door opens. So it's like a kitchen. It's a kitchen. Then it's like a living room, and then there's like a small passage, and then you make your way down to the sitting room. So, a guy arrives, much older than me, to be honest. He arrives, and then I'm like, so I know the guy, I've seen the guy before, I've interacted with the guy before, but like on a friendly level. I think he's more close to a friend of mine than he is with me. Basically, we are not close, but it was that moment where I had to talk to him because he was talking to a friend of mine. So he arrives, and I know the guy. He follows me on Instagram, and I'm like, he watches my story, I watch his stories, I like his posts. Even now, he still follows me, and high chance he's going to see this. So I'm like, hi. So I can't get about the guy, so I'm feeling so uncomfortable. So they call it like a bombastic eyesight. I'm like, to the dad or to this man of mine. So I'm looking at this guy. He seems not bothered. He's like, oh, so quickly. So I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? So he gives his dad the medication for, I think it was like the supplements and stuff, because his dad was like, no, I think I have a flu, something like that. And guys, it was COVID. It was at the peak. The COVID was at the peak. Oh, yo. Anyway, he arrives, and then offered that high medication. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? No, don't worry about him. I'm like, I know the guy. I follow him on Instagram. Like, he's like, yeah, that's my son. It's like, yeah. I'm like, does he know why I want him? He helps me choose the partners that I talk to and that I end up dating. I'm like, so I went through that screening. I was like, yep. Yeah, I will recommend dealing. This is awkward, guys. This is awkward. Apparently, the guy knows his dad is like gay or bisex, and he helps him choose the partners that he should have relations with, because apparently he does not trust gays. He hates gays, but for some weird reason he helps his father to choose the right one, because apparently, well, his father is like, it kind of makes sense, because his father sort of like has a lot of cash, so you have to like be cautious of the people that you bring into the family. Because one thing about gays are parasites, gays are parasitic, gays are advantageous, gays are opportunists. Oh my god. So we sort of like, so this dad of mine, or this bae of mine, oh my god, this is so fucked up. Because when I say a dad, it's giving incest, and when I say bae of mine or my man, it's giving pedophilia, which is still not, oh my god, this is so fucked up. I don't know what to use. I don't know what to use, but hey, this guy that I just met, or this guy belittles him because he's literally old. So we ended up, I think we went to his room, but eventually we got to a subject where I obviously had to ask about the wife and everything like that. Unfortunately, oh my God, such a tragedy. She is like, apparently the wife knew what's what, and he has been doing it for a while. Eventually we ended up going into his room, which is, we went to his room, and obviously we ended up kissing. So we were obviously kissing, and then his kid came in. I don't know what he was like. I don't know what he was gonna do in that room. In the main, was it the main bedroom? I don't think it was the main bedroom, because I think he respected his house enough not to take me to the main bedroom. So I don't know what that guy was gonna do in there, but he found us kissing, and he was like, "Oh, sorry. Oh my God." Like I've never felt so uncomfortable in my life. And then I was like, shit. It's like, no, don't worry. I'm like, no, how can you tell me not to worry? And then even this day when I look at that guy, I'm like, I still get second, like, you know, that embarrassment that cannot go away. That's how I'm feeling. Oh my God, it's so horrible. But yeah, I told my friends about this, and then as it turns out, apparently the guy is known for that. And I was another victim of his. I was another statistic in his book of the coolest kid he could smash, or he could be with, because I wouldn't exactly call it smashing, because because we didn't get to that part. We didn't get to that part. So to be honest, I think with me, I used him more of, I used him as a bridge between my dreams of the time when we were like at the peak of COVID, my dreams and my social life, and probably alcoholism, because essentially I was still looking to push for popularity contest, because we were literally not doing anything. We were not doing anything. It was COVID. All we had to do was eat, sleep, be on social media, post and tweet shit, but we were not doing anything productive. So I think I sort of used him as a benefactor to get things that I wanted at that time, and oh God, did I get them. I did get them, and which is why I'm like not complaining, to be honest. I'm not complaining. And guys, I hope you love this story. I hope it's not very long.